Hi, thank you for watching Digging to China. I'm Dong Sheng. If you have not done so already, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much. Big Brother is watching and watching intensively. China's internet watchdog is heightening its oversight of both online platforms and the users. Last Tuesday, the Cyber Administration of China issued new guidance to companies, including Tencent and ByteDance, asking them to add more staff to internet censorship teams, according to people familiar with the matter. The companies were also asked to pay more attention to content related to the protests, particularly any information being shared about demonstrations at the Chinese universities and a fire in the western Xinjiang region that triggered the nationwide backlash over COVID policies. Starting December 15th, online users will be liable for any likes on posts that are deemed illegal and abusive. As for what would be classified as illegal or abusive posts, there is no clear specifications, nor is the punishments that would be handed as per the law. In the meantime, all online sites are required to have a trained auditing and editing team for real-time monitoring, reporting, and deleting content that meets the vaguely defined criteria. According to the regulation, all online sites are required to verify users' real identities before allowing them to submit comments or like posts. Users have to be verified by providing their personal ID, mobile phone number, or social credit numbers. The new rules also order the online platforms to develop a rating system for users based on their past social media posts and comments, though the criteria for such ratings weren't specified. Users with a poor score will be labeled as dishonest users, and these users will be added to a blacklist, banning them from registering new accounts on the platform. All comments on news stories posted online must be audited by platforms before they are visible to the public, and the users will be warned accordingly. Platforms are also required to report any violations to the cyber watchdog. Beijing is strictly scrutinizing online content in order to sanitize the web and promote core socialist values online. The authorities now put greater onus on social media sites, which have implemented their own rules to police users. Earlier this year, several social media platforms, including short video site Douyin, aka China's TikTok, the microblogging site Weibo, and WeChat, began displaying users' IP locations on their profile pages and posts to safeguard cyberspace. In August, Weibo also said users' comments on certain posts will be displayed on their profile in a warning for them to be cautious of what they say online. Internet watchdog officials asked the Chinese search engines, e-commerce companies, and internet content platforms to conduct a fresh sweep to remove sales postings and information about how to use virtual private networks, also known as VPNs. The regulator also asked officials to get companies to prevent searches related to VPNs, which were used by protesters and other supporters to circulate videos of the recent demonstrations. During the protests, a flood of videos, images, and other content made its way across country's firewall via sites like Twitter that are theoretically restricted in China. VPNs would have made it possible to share information about the protests on restricted sites. Since the protests broke out, many Chinese internet companies have taken down videos of the protests. Chinese social media companies also sought to suppress results for the search term white paper after protesters made them a symbol to express their frustration at authorities. In the days since the anti-zero COVID protests, the government has used a heavy police presence across major cities to keep protesters off the streets. Beijing is also using cell phone data and social media sites to hunt down and question those who participated in the demonstrations. Quite a few protests have been cancelled in recent days amid the heavy police presence, and the streets have been quiet. In China, companies are allowed to use licensed VPNs provided mostly by state-run telecom operators to send secure emails and transmit data. Most people have to access external websites using unofficial software, which has been prohibited since 1997. Still, the government does not always police their use, and they continue to be widely used by people to bypass China's sophisticated system of filters and access websites blocked in China, including Google, Facebook, and Twitter. Some Chinese people have used VPNs to access sites like Twitter and broadcast information about the recent protests. They will often send the material via the platform's messaging system to a handful of widely followed Twitter users. One Twitter account calling itself Li Lao Shi, or Teacher Li, with more than 750,000 followers, has been posting dozens of videos of unrest in China since the weekend. Surfshark is a VPN provider based in Amsterdam. It saw a surge in downloads during China's protests, a company spokeswoman said in an email. The number of troubleshooting requests in China also increased in the same period, as the Chinese government had tried to make it harder for its citizens to use these tools, the spokeswoman said. According to mobile data analytics firm Sensor Tower, on November 28th, Twitter was the 8th most downloaded free app on China's Apple App Store, the highest it had ever ranked in November. Before the weekend protests, Twitter's ranking had ranged between 104th and 152nd places. Sensor Tower's data showed. In addition to asking companies to remove sales posting, the Cyberspace Administration of China asked companies to prevent searches using terms that are associated with VPNs, such as scientific internet surfing. This is a phrase used by Chinese netizens to evade censors. If you search the restricted VPN-related terms on Weibo, you will read this message. According to the relevant laws, regulations, and policies, the search results have not been displayed. On Taobao, the message read, "Very sorry, I couldn't find any related items." China tends to tighten control over VPN sales and access during times of social disruption. It is to prevent Chinese abroad from organizing their protests in solidarity. It also serves to prevent activists in China from seeing that they are getting international support. Cities have also begun relaxing some COVID measures. Last Thursday, Beijing said it would allow people who test positive to isolate at home as opposed to a government quarantine center. The city has also said it would stop compulsory citywide testing. In the southern city of Guangzhou, where videos had shown COVID protests, the city said on Wednesday that it would drop citywide testing and shorten quarantines. Under the increasingly strict internet censorship, many voices of dissent have been silenced. However, the public anger is still widespread. Yes, you can shut the mouth of a little child who claims the emperor has nothing at all on, but you can't deny the fact that the emperor is still naked. That is a fact. Thank you for watching. Please leave a comment and subscribe to my channel. Just click the subscribe button right here. I'll see you again shortly. Until then, be well.